I'm not investing in Prismatic Evolution. It doesn't interest me. I'm not investing in Surging Sparks. I'm not investing in Twilight Masquerade. I'm not investing in Destined Rivals. Black and White, forget about it. Journey Together? Actually, okay, I am investing in Journey Together. Enhanced boxes. But why aren't I investing in these sets? Aren't these the best sets of Sky and Violet? What's going on? Why aren't I investing in them? I mean, I have a pretty large holdings in 151 and Pale Lane Fates. Maybe I know something that you don't. Before we start this video, I just want to say, guys, thank you so much for the support recently. You guys are honestly amazing. I cannot thank you guys enough. You guys are amazing. Oh man, every single day I wake up and I see some comments and I see new subscribers and I see people, sharing their opinions, even if they disagree with me. I think my favorite comments is when people say they disagree with me because I love just chatting. So yeah, thank you guys so much for commenting. Thank you guys for liking. So yeah, let's begin this video. Alrighty, now what's going on? Why aren't I buying these sets? Like, aren't these sets supposed to be the best sets of Sky and Violet? Well, yes, they are. Well, I believe that at the end of the day, I feel like my job making these videos is to make sure that you maximize your gains. And at the end of the day, most people probably aren't going to stay in the hobby for about a year. So I've got you for like a year. So let's say from now you buy Prismatic ETBs and then a year skips by and they haven't really gone up that much, or maybe they've gone up by $50. But then say 151 boost finals go up to like 150 or 160. You're kind of going to be a bit spewing because you're going to think like, oh, well, I thought Prismatic was better. Why isn't it going up more? And the reason is because it's just so new. The thing is, for no more than a year, your best bet is just buy 151 and then just sell it when you leave the hobby. But then if you want to be in the hobby later, I would once again say just buy 151 and then sell whatever you want to sell later. Okay, now I've got a bit of a hypothetical. Let's just say you want to invest $1,000 into every single good Sky and Violet set. So from Surging Sparks to Black and White, and then say Pale Lane Fates and 151. My advice to you would be don't invest $1,000 in each set. My advice to you would be get all that money, $6,000, $7,000, whatever it is, get all that money and put it all in 151 and Pale Lane Fates. Those two sets are older. They are getting ready to tick up. They are getting reprint after reprint, specifically 151. However, they will get its last reprint sooner than when Prismatic Evolutions does. So the thing is, at the end of the day, 151 is going to tick up more. So what I would say to you is, I would say, if you're going to be in the hobby short term, your best bet is just buy 151 and sell it when you leave the hobby. If you're going to be in the hobby long term, my advice to you would be buy 151 and then come a year later, once Surging Sparks has dipped, once Twilight Masquerade has dipped, reprints have met, reprints have come in, and now they're all $200 AUD each, right? Then I would say jump into those sets. And what I would do is I'd sell your 151, all of it, but let's just say your original $1,000 investment, or let's just say $1,000 would have turned into $1,600 in a year, then sell everything but $1,600, then get that money and then put them in those sets. You'll get way better value. I believe 151 bundles will double within 12 months. Now, it is reaching for the skies a bit, of course, because, 151 bundles are about the $85 range, meaning that I'm pretty much predicting that they're going to be about 170. But I can see that happening. So the thing is, at the end of the day, there's a good chance Surging Sparks is actually going to be cheaper in a year's time than now. And the reason is because in a year there's a good chance that Pokemon is just going to be more quiet. Maybe not, dead, but it's definitely going to be quiet. It's definitely going to be a lot more calm than it is now. Take Surging Sparks singles, for example. You can see the singles are rapidly tanking. Now, let me explain to you how booster boxes go up in value. So here we got Paldea Evolved. Now, if you're new to the hobby, this is going to be fantastic information. If you've been in the hobby for a while, perhaps you knew this, but it sort of never clicked in a sense. So you didn't really think like, oh shit, I actually didn't realize that. Like, it makes sense, but I didn't realize that. So basically what happens is a set comes out and usually the singles start at a really expensive price and then they stabilize and find their point. Now, the thing is, if the top chase ends up being like $70, then a lot of the time the box price won't really go up unless it doesn't get many reprints. Now, if it doesn't get many reprints, then it will temporarily go up, but then it'll stagnate for a very, very long time. So take sets like Paldea Evolved, all right? The Magic Harp used to only be like a $30 card. Now that it's almost a $400 card, the box price has gone up a lot in value. So generally what happens is you have this equal balance of the singles and the sealed product. So let's just say this hand is the sealed product and this hand are the singles. What happens is firstly, the singles go up. Then the sealed product catches up with it, okay? Catches up with it. Then the singles go up again, and then the sealed products catch up with it. Then the singles go up again, and the sealed product catches up with it. This happens literally every single time. Take Evolving Skies, for example. The Moon Kitty blew up, went from 2k as a 10 to 5k. Not even about 2 months later, the box doubled in price. Take Team Up, for example. The Latios and Latios went from 5k as a 10 to 10k, and now the box has gone from 5k to 10k. Take your Cosmic Eclipse, for example. Cosmic Eclipse got a bunch of more expensive cards in it as different cards blew up in value, and then now the box price has blown up in value as well. It always has to be the singles and then the cards. And this is why you can accurately predict which sets are going to go up. For a lot of people, this doesn't click, meaning you can, it kind of sounds bad, but you can take advantage of people who don't know that in a sense, and it gives you an edge in the community, right? So you have an edge against other people when you can accurately predict which sets are going to go up, and it is always the sets that have cards that recently exploded in value. And this just happens like literally every single time. I mean, take the Gengar, for example. The Gengar went from like $600 to $1,000 as a VMAX, and then the box price went from $400 to $600, and then eventually crept up once again to $1,000 per Fusion Strike box. So the thing is, this happens a lot in Pokemon, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot in Pokemon. So, and this doesn't happen like a lot, it just, this is what happens. It's like, that is the rule. So the thing is, it also goes the opposite way. Surging Sparks singles are crashing. And I'm not trying to spread fear. I don't like YouTubers who do that. They just do it because it gets a lot of views, but it's true. Surging Sparks is crashing. Like, that is not exaggerated in the slightest. The Pikachu was like $1,000 at one point. Now it's like $450. All the prices are in AUD for this video, by the way, in Australia. I'm from Australia, so yeah. The thing is that, I'm sorry to say, but dude, at the end of the day, like, Surging Sparks is going to dip. I reckon Surging Sparks is going to be the first to drop, because at the end of the day, the singles for Surging Sparks is crashing, and you've got to remember that the Surging Sparks Pikachu was 1k at a point, right? So if the Surging Sparks Pikachu is $1,000, and then the box price peaks at like $420, so what do you think is going to happen to the box when the price of the Pikachu is $400? Do you really think it's going to hold $420? Well, no. Surging Sparks boxes go for about now the $360 range. If you buy on a place with no fees, such as Facebook, you can score them for like $320 AUD. And that's pretty solid, but that's like still pretty cheap. So to be clear, the wholesale for Pokemon is now about the $200 range in Australia. Now, the thing is, usually, for people who don't know, usually card shops generally don't make a lot of money on boxes. Usually they'll make maybe $20 profit per box, meaning that there's a good chance that boxes will then stagnate and bottom at $220 a box, which is a fantastic price for buyers in, like, compared to this market now, right? But the thing is, a lot of the time, end of financial deals happen. You know, say a distribution company needs to move a lot of product. So sometimes, like, we'll still find boxes at $190 in the future. It's just that will be considered the discount rather than like $160. There's just so much room for these sets to go down. And if Surging Sparks so happens to never get a reprint, if Twilight Masquerade so happens to never get a reprint, please not come back to this video and give me shit for this, because that is a complete unpredictable event that just almost never happens. But there's a good chance every single set, Surging Sparks and up, or even Twilight Masquerade and up, will just tank right back to like 220 within a couple of years. You've got to remember that these sets, they stay in rotation for a while. Surging Sparks is going to be here for a freaking while, dude. That's the thing. Sets, I mean, dude, sets are here for so long. And here's the thing about scalpers, and here's the thing about market price. There gets to a certain point where people kind of just don't give a shit anymore, and that's when they leave the hobby. People don't leave the hobby because they don't like the hobby anymore. People leave the hobby because they're so sick and tired of not being able to get product. So you're going to have a lot of people leave the hobby because of that. But also, Pokemon are just getting, like, their shit together, like, finally. So Destined Rivals booster boxes are pretty accessible. Destined Rivals ETBs are pretty accessible, and that's honestly pretty surprising. And it's impressive. It's good. Journey Together booster boxes. Dude, you can get them anywhere you want. Now, you're not going to be able to get them for like $220. Now, just because they're available doesn't mean that they're cheap. But them being available at card shops, at EB Games, at Kmart, that is the first step. And then the next step is the secondary market, where you got like all the people in Facebook who have wholesale accounts, and they're all fighting to sell you their case. And then then those people undercut each other until eventually they're all making like $60 profit in each case, which works out so good for people who want to buy up and stock up on cases. I have a mate of mine who has Prismatic Evolution Elite Trainer Box cases. He has 10, and I think he's going to close on 20 soon, Elite Trainer Box cases. He's so confident in Prismatic Evolutions, and rightfully so. Prismatic Evolutions is a good set. The problem is he's going to be holding on to it for a good while until he sees some substantial gains. 151 booster bundles. I will go back to this like I did a couple of videos ago, but there's some people who's been still holding on to 151 booster bundles when they were $60 a bundle like almost 2 years ago. And the thing is that now booster bundles are like $80. The dude has seen like a $20 gain in like 2 years. When Fusion Strike went from $160 a box to like $1K. And then Lost Origin went from $220 a box to $800, and then Evolving Skies went from $500 a box to $3,000 a box. Now, it all just depends on what you want at the end of the day. I've said to my mate, and I've explained to him, I said, look, if you got all those Prismatic Evolution ETB cases, and this was before the restock, so he could have sold them for 2.3K a case, right? I said to him, I said, dude, you should sell all of those and deploy it all in 151 bundles. You could easily get bundles for $80 if you're deploying like 20K into the bundles, right? So I said, just get them for $80 a bundle. Deploy all your capital into it. You deploy like 30K into it. Sell for your Prismatic Evolution, put it into 151 and come back in a year. Sell your money, pretty much double your money probably in a year, and then double your money, take that 60K and put it back into Prismatic Evolution. But he said to me, he said, it's not worth his time. He doesn't care to. He can do that, but he said he just doesn't care to. He said he'd just rather secure his position with Prismatic Evolution, and I respect that. That's fair enough. So it really just depends what you rather. And do note that this guy got out of retail. So he got 10 cases at retail. So he's laughing right now. So that's the thing. I'm a little bit different. I would rather maximize my gains, buy 151, hop from 151 to Twilight Masquerade, then Twilight Masquerade to Searching Sparks. I would rather hop around until eventually my money sits still for a good while. But some people are different, and people can do whatever they want. But for me personally, I'm not buying any of the new sets because they're going to get reprinted into the ground. Now, that's not just my opinion, that's what Pokemon have said, and that's what they are literally doing. Take 151 for example, holy moly, they will not stop with that set. Now, what do you think is going to happen when Pokemon decide 151 had enough, right? So, we've got the reprint of Blooming Waters in July, we've got mini tins coming, we've got Zapdos boxes coming, we've got so much shit coming for 151, right? What do you think is going to happen when they decide, alright, hang on, that's enough 151 for now. Let's target Surging Sparks. Let's target Twilight Masquerade. For the record, Twilight Masquerade has a confirmed reprint. They are reprinting it. So, Twilight Masquerade, Surging Sparks, Journey Together, Prismatic Evolutions, all these sets are going to get reprinted into the freaking ground. So the thing is, what do you think is going to happen when Pokemon decide, alright, 151 has had enough, let's target these other sets? First of all, those other sets are going to take into the ground. Like, let's just get that out of the way. But then, the more important thing is 151 is going to do amazing. Paladin Fates is going to do amazing because that's what they're putting a lot of their printers on. They're probably printing out 151 packs every freaking second. So the thing is, you only get... So the thing is, at the end of the day, Pokemon are probably working all their machines on just like a couple sets. Prismatic Evolutions, 151, and that's really it. So when they take out 151, those other, they're going to have so much room to print other sets. And then all those sets are going to rapidly tank. You know what happens when sets rapidly tank? People fire sell because they're angry. When Surging Sparks dips to $1,200 a case, I'm sorry to say, I feel like it will. When Surging Sparks dips to $1,200 a case, or maybe $1,300, or maybe $1,400, just not like 2.5K. When Surging Sparks dips to that price, there are going to be people who's going to angrily sell their case. Oh my goodness, what? I thought Pokemon only goes up. Oh, what? I bought it for 2.5K and now it's 1,500. Oh, I'm going to sell it now and I'm going to freaking forget about Pokemon. And that's what people do. Then they can sell it to people like me. People who have been patient in the market and they've patiently been waiting to buy it. They didn't buy it when it was released. They didn't buy it just to secure their position in the set. No, they patiently waited and they used logics and facts and history to make an educated guess. Maybe one of these sets get reprinted, but most of them won't. Most of them will get proper prints. So wait around. You don't need to act straight away for those sets. Take Crown Zenith for example. Crown Zenith is an extremely expensive set right now, but it wasn't always like that. Crown Zenith used to be the cheap set. Crown Zenith used to be the $3 booster pack. In fact, there were boxes where you could get them for $39 and it had 11 Crown Zenith packs inside. Crown Zenith was just that good set. Black and white could be the same set. Black and white could be the kind of set that just gets like just a couple reprints and is just always here. A couple reprints here, a couple reprints there, and it just keeps going and going and going. I mean, we're literally seeing crowns in this still to this day. So I could see black and white doing that. So it's like, even people who want to hold black and white, like, don't do it, dude. Just wait. Be patient. Sell it off, buy 151, and be patient. So anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. It wasn't too much. It wasn't an intense video. It was just more of my 2 cents. I just wanted to give my 2 cents on this. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Have a good one.